반짝이는 눈빛 눈이 부셔 매일 날 감싸주는 손길.
What are you implying about setting up a noodle restaurant with money? When Park Dora, who found it difficult to revive her acting career, asked her grandmother to fund a noodle restaurant. Park Dora, who had little worldly experience from her acting life, worried she might be a burden again. Baek Mi Ja, who had endured numerous misfortunes but continued to strive forward, viewed Park Dora's naive ambition as pitiable and considered her a human parasite. Despite Baek Mi Ja's disapproval, Park Dora was adamant about opening the restaurant and succeeding. Park Dora assured Baek Mi Ja, "I won't hire part-time workers. I'll handle everything myself and don't worry about the rent. Even if the location isn't prime, a great restaurant will eventually succeed, so don't worry too much." However, Baek Mi Ja believed it would be more prudent to gamble with her money for potentially greater returns, given the high failure rate of restaurants. Her true desire was to find someone to finance the restaurant, while she believed she could quickly multiply her money through gambling, indicating her serious gambling addiction. Park Dora, though concerned, was focused solely on setting up the restaurant and ignored Baek Mi Ja's actions and comments. Frustrated with gambling losses and the inability to win big, Baek Mi Ja sought her mother's support for starting a business. She pleaded with her mother, saying, "I miss a great opportunity to lack of funds. Let me borrow some money and I promise to return double. Please, mother, don't let me suffer and waste my chance." However, her mother ignored Baek Mi Ja's pleas and prepared a meal for Park Dora instead. Baek Mi Ja's frustration grew as gamblers mocked her inability to win due to her lack of money. When her mother suddenly called with a serious tone, asking her to come home, Baek Mi Ja, relieved at the prospect of money, rushed back. Upon arriving, she found her mother with a large suitcase and thought to herself that her mother was improving mentally and might have decided to give Park Dora a break by punishing Baek Mi Ja instead. Her grandmother, pretending to be demented, handed Baek Mi Ja a large sum, saying, "This is the money I had saved for Dora's restaurant. Promise me to double it by next week." Suspicious but eager for money, Baek Mi Ja accepted it and headed to a major gambling house. Confident the money would soon be hers, she played poker but lost all the money by the end of the night. Overwhelmed by stress, she experienced severe hair loss. Faced with the debt, Baek Mi Ja planned to borrow more money from her mother but was stopped by gangsters who accused her of attempting to scam them with counterfeit money. When confronted by the gambling house owner and realizing she couldn't repay the 100 million won, Baek Mi Ja was told she would have to work there until she settled her debt. She feared that her mother had given her fake money as a form of punishment. Regretting her life choices and her actions, Baek Mi Ja wished she could apologize to her mother and Park Dora, but now faced the reality of working off her debt. Meanwhile, Park Dora, initially worried about Baek Mi Ja's absence, eventually reported her missing. Her grandmother reassured her to focus on the restaurant. Park Dora followed this advice and successfully established the knife noodle restaurant. Later, news emerged that Baek Mi Ja had been arrested as part of a gang operating a gambling house and sentenced to several years in prison.
'Cause you are beautiful.